Welcome back to the tutorial about the function blocks of the FlexiSoft Motion Control module Mach1. This time we will take a look at the function block position cross-check. This function block compares position values from two different signal sources. The associated performance checks are used to achieve a higher level of safety. Let's focus on the relevant in and outputs first. There we select the function block position cross-check and place it in the configuration area. The inputs motion in 1 and motion in 2 are expecting motion data which either comes from an encoder directly or from another function block. The output motion out produces the checked motion data for using in another function block. Status indicates whether the position cross-check function has failed. If the signal is low, then an error was detected. Check done is set to 1 when the position is cross-checked. Reset possible indicates whether a reset input is possible. Now we connect the input motion in with the output motion out from the position by reference function block. After that, the input gets the absolute position which is generated in the function block position by reference. Next, we have to connect the input motion in 2 to a second absolute position information. In our case, we use an SSI encoder which provides this absolute information. We can find the encoder under inputs in the cluster Mach1 encoder. Now all the inputs from the position cross-check function blocks are connected. So let's go on with the configuration menu. In the tab Units you have to apply the values for access type, units and the absolute position range again. In the next tab Check Mode you can define the type of position cross-check or deactivate this function. If you select the function Same Direction Detection, then both motion signals follow the same direction. Because of that, the position cross-check function checks the difference between the two absolute position values. In this window, you can define a constant difference in position between motion in 1 and motion in 2. If you select the function Opposite Direction Detection, then the motion signals follow different directions. Because of that, the position cross-check function checks if the sum of the two positions are equal. There, you also can define a constant additional offset of the position sum of motion in 1 and motion in 2. In case of comparing two relative positions, you have to activate this window. The function Interpolation Mode is not relevant for this tutorial. In the tab Position Tolerances, we have the possibility to configure position tolerance limits. These tolerances are the permitted deviations during the position cross-check. Up to 3 different position tolerance limits can be defined. If several position tolerances have been configured, they can be selected by using the optional inputs Enable Tolerance Limit 2 and Enable Tolerance Limit 3. In addition to that, we can activate and configure a warning limit. If this warning limit is exceeded, then the output warning limit status switches to 0. The next tab, Relative Position Tolerances, is not a part of the tutorial. In the tab Reset, it is possible to activate the additional input reset. When a position cross-check has failed, then the output status and the bit's reliability in the motion signal goes low. This status remains valid for at least as long as the error recovery time, even if the position cross-check has already switched back to valid. With the optional input reset, it is now possible to cancel this recovery time. That means a rising signal at this input resets the monitoring functions of the function block. There you have the possibility to activate another optional input named Inhibit Error Indication. This function is relevant to inhibit a diagnostics history entry if a position cross-check has failed. This may be useful in certain operation situations where faults or detection gaps are expected in order to minimize the impact of the fault. That means, as long as the input Inhibit Error Indication is set to 1, an error will not result in a diagnostics history entry. That's it about the position cross-check function block. Now you've got to know how to configure the parameters of this function block in the FlexiSoft Designer. In the next video, we focus on the monitoring function block Position Monitor.